We're Charlie and Leanne, a couple from California who left our cushy suburban life to spend the next several years cruising around the Pacific Ocean on our boat, Juliet. And our little dog, too. In our last episode, we visited Ensenada Grande, where I got up close and personal with a moray eel. Then we headed to another picture-perfect anchorage called Bahia San Gabriel, where we got up close and personal with some frigate birds. But then we got kicked out. In this episode, we have a frustrating situation with a missing part, but we finally get out of the marina. We share some of the unique chores involved in life in a floating home, as well as some of the things we argue about. And then we have a special treat for you, a blooper reel. So be sure to watch to the end. We've had a really frustrating situation going on. You know, you hear the old adage that cruising is really nothing more than boat maintenance in exotic places where you can't get the part. Well, that's what we've been faced with.
At the end of last season, when we were coming back down from the Sea of Cortez, our autopilot failed. And when we did get back to La Paz, we decided that we'd be better off leaving Mexico, going back to the U.S. So I did not report the failure to the manufacturer, B&G. I figured we'd deal with it when we got back. Well, when we got back in October, I called up B&G. They said, well, sorry, it's out of warranty. I said, but it failed
during warranty.
While it was under warranty. And after a lot of back and forth, we went back and forth for a couple of weeks, they finally agreed to cover it under warranty. But the challenge was getting my old unit to their repair facility. It had to be shipped to an office in San Diego, and then from there forwarded to the actual plant, which is in Mexico. But I couldn't send it from here in La Paz directly to the plant in Mexico. It had to go through their San Diego service center or something.
Crazy.
So anyway, I enlisted the assistance of the local B&G Simrad Navico dealer, who agreed to use his facilities to get it to the service center. Well, the complication was when they went to ship it back, they were going to ship it to our house back in California. I told them, no, you can't do that. You have to send it to the dealer.
Yeah, that's the address that they had for us in their system, so that's where they were going to ship it.
Yeah, and the dealer has an address in San Diego that he uses to forward things here to La Paz. It was just going to be a matter of a week or two for it to get down to La Paz through the dealer's normal transportation source. After waiting a couple of weeks, we checked, and the dealer said that he couldn't find the tracking information for it. Well,
I want to mention, in the meantime, we kept asking him, what's the status on our part? What's the status on our part? And he would reply back, oh, yeah, I've been really busy. Let me check on that. Okay, so the next day, have you heard of status on our part? Nothing for that day. The next day, oh, yeah, let me check the status. I mean, there must have been, I don't know, over a dozen messages in which every message was, let me check on that.
The manufacturer told me that they did have the dealer's name on the shipping information.
So they said.
But when I checked with FedEx, they said, nope, it had my name on it. So I called up the mailbox place, told them, look for something with my name, and they found it.
Finally, weeks later.
And so now, just, 2 days ago, they forwarded it to the dealer's address.
It's in transit now.
It should be here within a week. Yeah. We hope to have it within a week.
So we decided, rather than sitting in the marina, waiting for a part, which is what we've been doing for weeks, we're just going to go drop anchor and wait near La Paz. So yesterday we just scrambled around to get everything ready, and we pulled out of the marina. We are now at anchor in Bahia Falsa, which is just a little anchorage real close to La Paz. And we still have cell service here, so when the dealer calls us to tell us that it's arrived, we'll be able to just zoom on down there, get the part, and get our autopilot working again. But in the meantime, we're on the hook. We're out of the marina. Woo!
Yeah, it's a great little anchorage. Yeah. Let us see turtles, fish jumping out of the water, pelicans diving for the fish.
And Boundless is here because we're going to do the crossing with them together. So Boundless is here. In fact, we're going to go over tonight in just a few minutes and go have a celebratory dinner with them that we finally got out of the marina.
Cheers, cheers.
Bon appetit.
Cheers, everybody.
Now that we've finally cut the dock lines and have no plans to return to a marina anytime soon, we have some work to do to get the boat fully set up for life on the hook.
So Charlie, what are you doing?
Unpickling the water maker. This will be the first time we've used it this season, and at the end of last season we filled it with propylene glycol, which is a pickling solution to basically prevent it from growing any biological material. So this is food grade propylene glycol. Different, I think, from the antifreeze that people might be familiar with, but it's a very safe pickling solution for water makers, and the reason why we use this is because you can leave it for more than 3 to 6 months. So because starting the water maker is kind of a complicated process, I put together this 14-step process specifically for our boat. Really, it's not complicated, it's just a lot of steps. So the first thing we have to do is open up the seawater through-hole valve, which is underneath this board. And it's right here. That's the new valve that we installed. And then we also need to make sure that the brine water discharge valve is open. And right now there should be water going out the brine discharge. I'm going to go outside the boat and check, make sure that's happening. It's the brine water discharge. That means water is flowing through the entire system. Now we come to the important part. We're about to turn on the high pressure pump. So I turned it to bring the pressure up to 800, which is a little bit past straight up and down. It's pushing out the final bits of air. And if you're really listening carefully, you can hear water flowing out the spigot. So this is, it should be clean water coming out of the system. Okay, here's the moment of truth. We will sample this water and verify that it's less than 500 parts per million of solids. Look at that, it was 55 parts per million.
52.
52. Which is incredibly clean. When we checked the water coming out of the tap in the marina here, it was 420. So anyway, we've got nice clean water coming out of the water maker, which is always good to have. So now that we have clean water coming out of the sample spigot, we can divert it into the water tanks. So by lifting this up, it'll route the water into the port side water tanks. We've got one right below me here where I'm sitting, and there's another one below me here in the floorboards. 25-gallon tank here, 50 or 55-gallon tank below the floor. So this is the 25-gallon port upper tank, and it's got a little dipstick here so you can check to see how full it is. I'm not expecting us to get anywhere near full today, but normally this is how we would check the water level.
Today is freezer de-icing day. Our freezer and refrigerator system does not work like yours at home. Things are very different on a boat. I don't need to defrost it, but it does ice up. And so I need to remove everything and just kind of chip off some of the ice. Also, I need to constantly be shifting things around because the stuff on the bottom is going to freeze rock solid. It gets very cold down there with the stuff on the top. It will freeze, but it's not nearly as, not as cold up there as it is at the bottom. Heat rises and all that. So I have to be, constantly checking where things are and move things up closer to the top if I'm going to be using them next. And the stuff that I want to keep really frozen, I put at the bottom. Also, the airflow is very important in the freezer. We have a little fan in there that blows air from this corner over to this corner. At the very bottom down here is a little opening with a sliding door that you use to, that's what cools the refrigerator. There's no elements in the refrigerator. It's just cold air blowing from the freezer into the refrigerator. We adjust the temperature of the refrigerator just by opening and closing that door a little bit more. But if everything is blocking the airflow from that little fan down to the bottom where the opening is, then the refrigerator is not going to get cold, and then you have food safety issues. So time to get to work. This is hard work. Well, there's some of the ice I got out of there. There's still a lot at the bottom, and that's the less fun part of this. Well, none of this is really fun, but I have to get down there with my hands and just dig it out. Another thing of blueberries. I thought we were out of blueberries. Amazing the treasures you can find. So I reloaded everything, and I did my best to make sure that there's airflow from where the fan is down to the hole. You can't use the whole freezer. I mean, you can't fill it up and pack it with stuff because otherwise the air won't flow. So that's just one of the unique things about living on a boat.
Life on a boat means keeping things afloat. Not just your boat, but your relationship. So here's a fun little segment we've put together about the silly little things that trip us up.
Charlie, do you know where the thingamajig is?
I think it's in your side of the V-berth.
I looked in there. I couldn't find it.
Well, that's where it was last time I saw it. I want to check again.
All right, I'll look around some more. You have to move. Well, it's not in there. It's not in there. It's not in there. I'll check the V-berth again. I still don't see it. Still can't find it.
Well, did you find it?
Yep, I found it.
So where is it?
My side of the V-berth. I gotta get to the head. You're in my way. Charlie, I gotta get to the galley.
Ow! That really hurt.
Well, if your legs weren't in my way all the time.
Excuse me. What are you doing?
I'm trying to get a drink of water. I'm thirsty.
This is a one-butt galley. That was only 16 pumps.
You're counting my pumps?
Someone has to. It's only 18.
Really, Charlie?
Yeah, you need to pump it 20 times.
Jesus. What are you, the pump police?
So, you think putting these videos together is so easy, eh? Well, here's some fun footage that didn't make the cut.
Colin and Julian gave me a really nice Christmas present, a tortilla press. So I'm attempting to make corn tortillas. The peeling is a little difficult. Okay, that one didn't work. Let's try this again with another one. But of course you're recording, so it's not going to work perfectly. And that one broke again. All right, turn the whole thing off. It's not working for me today. I give up. I'm serious. I'm done. Shit. First, hold on, but just go over and turn off the radio. You don't have to stop recording. Just turn off the radio and then we'll start over. Sorry, hold on. Shoot, I should have turned that off. Give me a second. Wait for that to stop. Okay.
Do you have to talk this with...
Finish up! If I get up now, I'll be in a different position and then cutting will just look weird. Okay, they're done. Continue. And in our quarter berth, that's of course where we live. We hope you're enjoying our videos. And if you are, did you ever think to yourself, you know, I wouldn't mind buying Leanne and Charlie a beer, or maybe even a margarita? Well, if you ever thought that, now you can. Just go to that Patreon link right there and you can buy us a drink. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.